father was a con man, traveling from town to town selling fake cures under false names. His son became the first billionaire in recorded history, and today, quietly, his family's name still lives inside the banks we use, the universities we study, at the museums we walk through, and the parks where we still find silence. Let's settle in and drift back to where it all began. Tonight, we're going to slowly unfold the story of the Rockefellers, a name that would, over generations, come to shape almost everything around us without most of us ever noticing. There's no need to rush through this. We have time. So take a breath and let the story begin. A childhood INHE countryside. Visual suggestion: farmland, old wooden houses, slow-moving rivers. In 1839, in the small town of Richford, New York, a boy named John Davison Rockefeller was born. His father, William, was a restless man. He traveled often, sold remedies from town to town, and was rarely home for long. His mother, Eliza, was steady, calm, careful with money, careful with faith, careful with her children. It was from her that young John learned patience, discipline, the quiet value of saving, little by little, something he would carry with him for the rest of his long life. The family later moved slowly, gently, westward to Ohio, to a growing town called Cleveland. Thefirst ledger. Visual suggestion: old handwritten ledgers, candlelight, quiet offices. At just 16, John took his first job, a small position as an assistant bookkeeper. He kept meticulous records, every cent written down carefully in a small notebook he called ledger. Years later, even as one of the wealthiest men the world had ever known, he still kept that same notebook nearby. A quiet reminder of where it all began. By 19, he had opened his own small trading company, dealing in grain and other goods. It was modest, steady, unremarkable at first glance. But far below the surface of Ohio, something new was stirring, something dark
to lead the attack for the First Amendment, condemning the extreme right-wing Birch Society,
THESLOWRISEOFAN industry. Visual suggestion: early oil derricks, misty fields, distant machinery. In 1859, the first commercial oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, and slowly, quietly, a new age began. Many rushed toward the wells themselves, hoping for quick fortune. But John looked elsewhere. He saw something others missed, that the real, lasting value wasn't in pulling oil from the ground, but in refining it, purifying it, making it useful. In 1863, he invested in a modest refinery in Cleveland. And in 1870, he and his partners quietly founded a company that would, in time, become one of the largest business enterprises the world had ever seen. Standard Oil, building slowly an empire. Visual suggestion: railways at dusk, refineries glowing softly, contracts on old desks. Standard Oil grew not through noise, but through quiet, careful strategy. John negotiated calmly with the railroad, securing lower shipping rates that smaller companies simply could not match. One by one, competing refineries found it difficult to continue. Some closed.
Mr. President,
Others quietly agreed to
about
sell.
our problems here in New York as you know about them. I am taking every step I can with state authority to help the little businessmen and the individuals who are really up against it because they're losing their business. And the little fella can't do anything if he doesn't get in cash, and a lot of them are going bankrupt. And an awful lot of people are not getting paid, even though His Honor the Mayor asked them to pay them. So I would like to send you a wire, but I wanted to speak to you first. And in the wire, I would outline the steps we're taking in the state. And then I would say, in view of this major catastrophe, I request you, Mr. President, that you declare New York City a major disaster area, and that you take all necessary steps to make available to individuals and small business federal assistance, including low-interest loans to small business by the Small Business Administration. 2, guarantee of outstanding loans to veterans on both homes and businesses by the Veteran Administration. And 3, highest priorities to loans to individuals and small businessmen in New York City by the Office of Economic opportunity.
Nelson, I think that what we ought to do is let me have the people who handle that to get back in touch with you and review what you want to send, because it'll sure get out. And when it does, it'll create a problem for us if we're not able to meet it. It'll hold out hope that we may not be able to meet. It'd be like my sending you a wire and saying, now, Governor, I wish you'd get off your ass and do something about your situation up in New York City and don't let these things happen. Let me get our best man to call you after we get a small business, see if they have any possibilities of doing it. I would question that when we have a strike for a week, that we can write a new rule, because if we did, we'd had it out in Illinois last week and we'd have it some other place tomorrow. But we want to help any way and every way we can, but I don't know that we ought to do it by wire back and forth. Let me get our best person. I'm sitting here now in a security meeting, and they just buzzed me, and I knew nothing about the nature of the call and what it's about. I want to answer as quickly as I can. Let me get my best person, and I'll have them call you as soon as the lunch hour is over with, and see what facilities we have here that would be available without legislation, which we don't have. The Congress is not here, and then have a kind of a understanding of what we can do without getting up people's hopes. And you're recommending something that would make you look bad if nothing existed for it.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and we have researched your federal laws naturally very carefully before securing.
I haven't, though, and I'm going to be the one that has to make the decision.
Yeah.
And my own impression is there's no funds in the small business. My own impression is that they're exhausted. And I don't know whether your research shows that or not, does it?
That does not show,
okay.
Although I assume that emergency funds could be used.
No, we don't. No, I think we have to wait until the Congress gets back in. They go through the appropriation channels of the House and the Senate and their hearings. I think the New Orleans thing was an unexpected emergency of such huge proportions, and they had to have legislation, and I think the funds are pretty well depleted. But as you know, I'm not an expert on these individual veterans loans and small business loans and just the extent of how much we have in each pocket. But I will, if you'll give me if I don't just have to act here at 5 minutes after 1, within the hour I'll have somebody going into it, and I'll get back to you this afternoon.
Well, now let me just make one more point on this. We have got a situation. You probably got a report from Willard Wirtz already.
I got a thorough one from him. I've had it every morning and every afternoon.
And as you know, then, as a result of that at this moment there is no break in the clouds anywhere. Now, unless Willard's got something that I don't know about.
Well, I think they had some things that they were uncertain about what would come. They had some plans, but they're in the process of being discussed and evaluated. And he made a report to me, I guess, at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they have some. They have some plans, and they have some questions as to procedures they'd like to get inaugurated, and it's conceivable could be agreed upon. And if they got those procedures, why, that would give us a little time.
Yeah. The problem we face is with no really clear evidence of the course leading to a solution, that we are facing the people, and it's not just the 8 million in the city, there's about 16 million people involved, and this thing is a very, well, I don't know, I'm not telling you because you know it, but it's extremely serious as far as what's happening. And there are an awful lot of people who are beginning to get very upset, little people who are innocent victims of a big situation that's unfolding.
I quite agree with that, and it's been distressing and disturbing to me every moment, and there hasn't been a day that I haven't had an oral report and a written report.
Right.
And when the mayor, we have said to the mayor, I don't need to review all that,
Sure.
but We've said to him that we would do this, that, A, B, C, D, E. He goes back to his panel. He calls back and says, I don't think this ought to be done now. The panel doesn't agree with it. So we said, whenever you're ready, whenever anything we can do, whatever resources we have that might be helpful to you in reaching agreement, we'll do it. So he called me at 6:15 yesterday, said that he would like to discuss some of the strategy involved with the Secretary of Labor, and I said, well, he will be asked to leave within the hour. He caught a 7 o'clock plane. He went up. They did go into it late in the evening. I think before he left, they had made some arrangements about some of the parties and getting them available for the conference and things of that kind, and out of jail and so forth. And Wirtz tells me that they carefully explored various possibilities, and one of them is in motion today. Now, what comes from it, I don't know. But anyway, the mayor is carrying it out as he thinks it ought to be, and I want to give him any assistance that we have here, and I want to give you any. But I don't want to be exchanging wires on front pages of papers when there's not any hope, and I sure don't want you to move a situation in here that can be better handled by the responsible and selected and elected officials there. We want to cooperate with him every way in the world we can, but I don't want to, as a kind of a conservative, moderate Democrat, I believe in your Republican principles of states' rights and local self-government a little bit, and I want to cooperate with them and supplement them and not supplant them.
Well, that is exactly why I called you instead of wiring you.
No. That's what, and I'll get my people busy, and we'll get back in touch with you.
And we will take all the steps we can at a state level. And you know, of all the governors, there's none that have got criticized more for doing things, and there's a certain senator from this state who keeps criticizing me for not getting enough money out of the federal government.
Well, don't get me. Don't you think I've got enough problems with Vietnam without getting in your New York personalities? But what I will do is this.
Yeah.
I'll get our people, see what it is that we might do, and I'll have Wirtz or somebody get back to you within the afternoon, and we'll keep it absolutely under the cover so we don't build up people's false hopes and make them think it's Sandy's down here that can take care of these things with these things. But we'll let you know what can be done, and then we'll decide who our people ought to meet with to do it.
Yeah, if I could give whoever you designate to this, if I could give them some thoughts on the phone, then it would be very helpful, because I can point to the areas that we've explored that might be useful.
That'll be good. I'll do that, and I'll have somebody call you this afternoon.
Wonderful.
All right.
Okay.
My best happy.
Same to Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you a lot.
Okay, bye.
Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, President Pro Tem Eastland, Mr. Chief Justice, Your Excellencies, the member of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, and fellow Americans. As I stand before you, I feel a great sense of humility. I feel a great sense of gratitude for the privilege of serving the country I love. I feel a deep sense of gratitude to President Ford, to the Congress of the United States, and to the people of America. To the President for his trust and confidence, and the opportunity he has given me to serve this great nation in working with him. A man for whom I have profound respect, admiration, and warmth of affection. A man of integrity, sincerity, openness, dedication. A man bearing the lonely burdens of the presidency with deep human understanding and total devotion to his country. And my admiration to the First Lady, Betty Ford, and her great warmth and her courage. And if you'll forgive me for a personal note, my love and admiration to my own gallant wife, Happy. I feel deeply grateful to the committees and the members of the United States Senate and the House of Representatives for their confirmation of my nomination. Among the many reasons I look forward with pride and with keen anticipation to serving the Senate as their presiding officer is the fact that my mother's father, my grandfather, Senator Nelson W. Aldrich, represented the great state of Rhode Island in this very chamber for 31 years, after serving for 3 years in the House of Representatives. The thoroughness with which the Congress exercised its responsibilities on behalf of the American people under the 25th Amendment has been another dramatic evidence of the enduring strength and vitality of our Constitution and our unique American system. I've learned a great deal from this experience of the past 4 months. And I've come out of it with an even greater respect for the Congress of the United States, a more profound appreciation of the collective wisdom of the American people as expressed through the Congress, and a deeper understanding of the breadth of the responsibility to the people of this great free land that falls upon those of us in positions of public trust. I deeply appreciate the outstanding work of all those in government agencies involved in the investigation and preparation of material for the congressional committees. I admire and respect the vigilant coverage of the free American press, radio, and television, through which the people of America were so well informed. I would like to thank all of those citizens who participated directly in the process by expressing themselves to their representatives in the Senate and in the House, and to those who sent words of encouragement to Happy and to me. And finally, especially to you, Mr. Chief Justice, my thanks for your administering the oath and symbolizing as you do the rule of law by which this great republic functions. This is a period in which our country faces tremendous difficulties and unprecedented problems, both at home and abroad. Problems that affect every section of our country and every family in America. But there is nothing wrong with America that Americans cannot right.